Erica, you are in Ottawa. You have seen protests come and go during your time there. Talk to us a little bit more about what you've seen this past week and what has really stood out to you.
A complete dereliction of duty and leadership, to be honest. The Ottawa Police is making a good case about why we should defund them. Because in the 2021 municipal budget, the Ottawa Police got, I think, $11 to $13 million more than the previous year in a pandemic. And right now we're wondering where that money's going. I have not seen the police actually do much to quell this demonstration like they did in November 2020 when the Ottawa Black Diasporic Coalition and the Abdirahman Abdi Foundation actually staged a demonstration in the cold. And so Ottawa police were quick to arrest people. They were quick to move in. They were quick to use tactical teams, and they arrested a whole bunch of people from that demonstration. And so what is clear is that the Ottawa Police does not treat Black and Indigenous people and demonstrations from that sector of society as it is this freedom convoy.
Mm-hmm. I did want to ask what your thoughts were when earlier this week, leading into Black History Month, because February is Black History Month, when you saw when you saw racist rhetoric, when you saw things like swastikas and the Confederate flag being flown around on Parliament Hill by the handful of people that did that, and when you hear hateful messaging, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I'm not surprised. We had United Re-Roll in 2019, and we had some white supremacists latch onto that too. I don't see why this would be any different. The internet knew that this convoy was coming days before it did. I don't know what were the preparations, what were the planning, what kind of intelligence do they have in the Ottawa Police? They're quick to surveil Black and Indigenous protesters, yet when it comes to white protesters, they all of a sudden have no authority. And this is what is impressing upon me is who is a criminal that deserves that kind of sort of typical Ottawa police treatment, which is violence, and who is allowed to protest. Which protests are allowed to continue and why. And it also goes to show that law enforcement is subjective. It's not objective, that there are choices made by people high up in law enforcement about the tactics they take and who they take them out on. So then my question then becomes, why aren't Black and Indigenous protesters treated to violence, and this protest is treated to a welcome mat?
Just finally, before we go here, Erica, I did want to ask what you thought about these comments that came during a meeting. CTV News has learned that before the convoy arrived, interim leader Candice Bergen was pushing Aaron O'Toole in a meeting to support the convoy, saying that there are good people on both sides, which is what Donald Trump, former president of the United States, said about the Unite the Right rally in Charlottesville. How do you think this past week, what we've seen and heard, how do you think this is going to really resonate amongst Canadians, for the Conservative Party, for other leaders?
Well, this really is a litmus test of leadership. And the Conservative Party has been knocking on Republican tactics for a while, and they've gone full Republican now. And if you look at what's going on in the States, that's quite concerning. I don't understand how one can encourage, protests that call for not only the dissolution of government, but like the assassination of Justin Trudeau. Like, I don't understand how that is acceptable and how that speech is free. But when racialized people talk about racism, we're silenced quickly.
Do you think that, just finally here, do you think
that goes for Candice Bergen too. because as you know, this week in Question Period, she called the Confederate flag and how it affects Black people as gaslighting, which is not actually gaslighting, but whatever. So she in 1 week has disregarded the racial violence against Black people during Black History Month, and supported a convoy of white supremacists. What does that tell you?